This week on SNG Explains, we will analyze the impact of being the most populous country in the world. A report by the United Nations suggests India will displace China as the world's most populous country by the middle of this year. It will have nearly 3 million more people than China, according to the UN Population Fund estimates.
I think the UN's report is a projection. The UN, the SWOP report, as well as the policy brief that uh, UNDESA, the Department of Social and Economic Affairs, released subsequently. They very clearly mention that these are projections. It's difficult to pinpoint exactly when India, has overtaken China or will overtake China. These are ultimately projections, and they have also very clearly mentioned the caveat that these projections are based on the data that is available. And in case of India, the census is delayed because of the pandemic. So we are going by the projections because UN is the most reliable source of population projections that we have been referring to earlier as well.
India's next census will happen next year. So, how has the country's population grown over the years? In the first 2 decades of the 20th century, that is from 1901 to 1921, the rate at which the population grew was low. Rate of births and deaths were high due to factors like illiteracy, poor healthcare facilities, and ineffective distribution of food and other basic amenities. The next 30 years saw a steady growth in population as health and sanitation improved. The 3 decades after that saw a population boom as the living conditions improved and fertility rate was high. Migrants from Bangladesh, Tibet, Nepal, and even Pakistan added to the numbers. Since then, though the growth rate has remained high, there has been a gradual slowdown due to better family planning measures, increased literacy, and a raise in the marriageable age of girls to 18. Over 17% of the world population lives in India. In the last 70 odd years, 1 in 3 people in the world was born either in India or China.
I think there's a bigger responsibility that the world has as well. So today, most developed countries, they are moving towards an aging population. They have a rapidly aging population, and they should really look at this big resource that India has as a potential for them as well. And different countries should also be making the right kind of investments and efforts to leverage this demographic that India has by investing in their skilling. Case in point, Japan has signed a memorandum of cooperation with India, where under this MOC, they've proposed to skill the young Indian workers in 14 different sectors. So it's important that that investment in the population to ensure that they are equipped with market ready skills, they are made, but not just within the country, but outside the country by other countries as well.
Today, nearly 2/3 of Indians are below the age of 35. And a huge youth population can translate into greater productivity and more output to scale up development and the country's economy.
India has a large young population right now, and we have a low dependency ratio. We have a large young workforce, potential workforce that can contribute effectively to the economy, provided the right kind of investments are made in their skill development, in their health well being, in creating adequate job opportunities, and also recognizing that there are certain states which are at a different stage of demographic transition. We know that southern states have definitely they've done much better than northern part of the country, and this is also very evident from the fact that South Indian states attained replacement level fertility almost 2 decades ago. What this means is that they had managed to stabilize their population with the right kind of investments almost 2 decades ago. And now there are the northern states where we do see that fertility rates still continue to be high, at least in 3-4 states. So those states require very, very focused kind of investments and measures. And the government has been working in that direction. But I think those efforts will have to really be strengthened going forward if we truly want to leverage our demographic dividend.
Unemployment remains a pressing concern, though. Last month, it was close to 8%. Stay tuned for more such topics on SNG Explains. Watch our episode from last week on Jack Ma and his sudden reappearance on our channel. We will be back next week with a new topic. Till then, keep watching Strat News Global. Don't forget to like, share, and of course, subscribe.